Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's going to be perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. Where old games live, they do not die. We are here in 1981 playing all the releases in alphabetical, well actually in chronological order. We're starting at the beginning of the year, so let's take a look at our last release, which is we're waiting for Defender gameplay. And here we go, this will be our first taste at playing Defender for 1981. We last played Scramble and couldn't get the release date quite right for Scramble. It was between February of 1981, and it looked like both Defender and Scramble were February of 1981. So let's see what Defender is like. This is developed by Williams. It's February 1981, and we're playing Defender in the arcade. First time boot up, has amazing sound effects already. Excellent! Glad to have you here, L. Curtis B. There you go. Look at the boot up for Defender. Williams Electronics presents Defender. Wait a second, copyright 1980. Everywhere else I saw was 1981 for Defender, and I was on the fence at Scramble and Defender. There's no way they could be released around the same time, which was February 81, and this is saying 1980. And if you look over here, right above my ear, it says 1980 for the artwork for the Defender. So now I'm curious where my sources were, because it's possible it was developed in 1980 and only released in 81, but at this point, if you can get any release dates kind of close, it's very impressive. Maybe if this channel goes until the year 2006, we'll have accurate release dates when we have the internet, but until then, all of these releases from the 80s are very difficult to pinpoint. And take a look at this attract mode for Defender. It is already showing off how well the graphics look, and of course they're giving us the point values for all the enemies, but Defender has what we've seen with Rally X, which is that radar at the top, which is great. Yeah, there's so much gray area on when these were released, so we're doing the best we can for the channel. We want to get a really good time capsule of what it would be like. Right now it's 1981 in February. What would we be seeing as the newest, coolest stuff? All right, so let's take a look at some different artwork we have for Defender. Looks like we have the US that we were looking at before, and this is the, oh, is it the same? US and UK apparently are the same. There's our cocktail, oh, that's very nice. The cocktail version of Defender with instructions on either side. And then we have just a widescreen one, and then, oh, there are various other artworks for widescreen. Oh, that one's fantastic. That one takes the original and just makes it widescreen with the better instructions over here right above my head. Okay, we'll keep that one. That looks really good. And a nice zoomed in view of Defender. Yeah, that's a good point. In the chat, as far as these release dates, when they were written and developed and when they actually released to the public is so tricky, because a lot of times the developers are working on these possibly months before, and if it's something they're trying to push for the end of 1 year and it doesn't get released till then, it looks as though it could be coming out in 1980, when in fact it was 81 when it actually was where the public could get it. So I see that 1980, and I'm a stickler for the dates. Obviously, I'm for Chronologically Gaming. I want to make sure we have the most accurate or closest as we can to the real date. So here we go. This is Defender. If you look at the instructions, it has blast alien ships, blast the landers carrying humanoids before they mutate, catch falling humanoids. It's 500 points, return them to the surface. Oh, there we go. It's showing us in the attract mode. You get 500 points for returning them, and then a bonus for surviving humanoids after each alien wave. You also have a hyperspace button where you can warp to another quadrant, and it says use caution because you can blow up into something else, and then Smart Bomb destroys all the enemies on the screen. You get a bonus ship and Smart Bomb every 10,000 points. This is masterwork of Eugene Jarvis for Defender, and this is one of the best, if not the best, Golden Age arcade games, so it's obviously going to be 5 stars in my book, but let's play a little bit, put a quarter in. Oh, that right there, the bass. That is iconic. And then we push start. Love it. So, okay, so I'm just going to get used to the controls. We have up, down for controls. And last episode, we took a look at the manual and so forth. But you have a shot that you can fire to blast the aliens. And then if you look at the radar, we can see someone's getting picked up now. It looks like I blew them away because you can blow up the people instead of rescuing them. but it's been known to be very difficult Defender. But this is just fascinating that we never saw any horizontally scrolling shooters last year in 1980. We saw a very impressive one. I didn't get to pick him up. We saw a very impressive one by Nasir Gabelli on the Apple II that was a vertical scrolling shoot 'em up, but the majority of them were just Starfield scrolling or a few scrolling in the arcade, but they were only going up vertically, not horizontally. And so we never had any horizontally scrolling shooters until just this year in 81 with Scramble, and then back-to-back Defender after that. Oh, wow. But the big thing about Defender is how fast. Look at how fast this thing scrolls. It gives the sense of speed, and then the sound effects are fantastic. And of course, I'm messing around here. We also have the hyperspace. Okay, it looks like I survived. And then you can switch your ship back and forth. We played Scramble last episode. That's only one direction, but to play Defender, switching back and forth using the radar, it feels like you are on a planet. Oh, got me. Yes, thanks for the reminder. We played Lupin 3, and I totally forgot about the magic button whenever we played. Not going to forget the button in Defender, that's for sure. And then high scores, putting in your initials, but the font, the sound effects, color, everything just all comes together. It is a masterwork, Defender. So let's put another quarter in. And push start. Let's see if we can actually rescue somebody. There are some people that claim Defender is too difficult. Oh, here we go. Nice. And then deliver him down. Got it. As soon as I just die right afterwards. And I remember doing that the first time I ever played. In the chat, they said about just shooting all the human beings. And sure, yeah, the first time it feels like you're in a... Well, see, at the time, the open world terminology wouldn't be correct, but it feels like you're in an open world because you're able to go wherever you want. And it had that feeling in 1981. But of course, you know, you want to go down here and just go... Just destroy all the people. Because I did that as well. But I love all the different alien types. I love how it's not a stickler by hitting the mountains. There's no hit detection by as flying low. You got to be careful about hitting the mountains. Love that. Wow. But it plays so fast and so well. Oh, wow. Got it. Yeah, it is very difficult, but very rewarding when you get used to playing it over and over again. And it's the best game we played thus far, especially in the arcades. All right, so again, put another quarter in and push and start. Only about 2 other games we've played on the channel that have a radar like Defender. But nothing tops these kinds of sound effects for the time. Wow. Oh yeah, we gotta make sure we use those smart bombs too. So following the radar, you can kind of pick up who's gonna be leaving the planet and who's not. Oh, here we go. Oh man, those fast ones always get me. You can always run away if you want to, but the screen is infinite scrolling. You pass over one side and you show it on the other side. But at the time for 1981, this would have seemed like you just had so much real estate of how you could play. There you go, and you finish the first wave, move on to the next one, and they do little variations to switch up the gameplay. Like you can see now I'm getting attacked by some homing missiles. Oh, got me on the rescue. I love how this is a culmination of other rescue games we've seen in the arcade. Well, I guess we saw 2 on the home console space, but for video games that you're having to rescue someone else and then come back for them later, Defender does that, but in strides, making it more action-based. All right, let's put another quarter in and push start. I also don't consider the music annoying or too loud. It sounds iconic. It sounds beautiful. Hearing the bass of putting the coin in. Every little nuance is amazing. Alright, let's Let's see if we can do a little bit better this time. It's very difficult to narrate and play Defender at the same time. And they also have that hyperspace, that kind of get out of jail free cards like they had in Asteroids. Here we go, last one coming up. There we go. Wave 1 complete. Didn't even use a smart bomb yet. Oh gosh, crazy. Oh, got it. Trying to go for the rescue, but of course, very, very difficult. I remember to use that smart bomb. Let's put another quarter in and go again with Defender. Something else we can't recreate from the arcade space is playing on the control panel itself. Ow, got me in the shot. So this has been emulated and played in collections through so many systems, and you can always play Defender on, for example, PlayStation 2 has a collection. There's home collections, computer collections, and so forth. But to play with the control panel of the original system is really big. All right, let's see if we can get one of these guys. There we go. No, he died before I could save him. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, but the gameplay is fast, crazy with the radar, but so much fun. Love it. All right, let's see. Do they still give me? Okay, they still give me my last smart bomb. So let's use that. Oh no! And we get shot before then. Oh, nice. We can put an initial in for that one. What is it? Hyperspace? Oh, okay. It's the normal shot. There we go. Oh, that's too bad it doesn't work. Well, I guess, of course, not like the arcades, but we're going to see lots of ports. In fact, this is interesting that the channel's seen plenty of arcade games, the original arcade, but we haven't seen a lot of home ports yet. For example, Space Invaders comes out, and we haven't seen a ton of home ports, but just wait. We're going to see so many arcade ports come home on the console and home computer. And so this was Defender, an amazing, excellent game, one of the best, and probably one of, if not the best game that we could have played up to this point. So for that game, what's really cool about it is the graphics themselves. It has a look like you're playing with color vector graphics, but it's not. It's still a raster-based game, but it's a higher resolution that gives the feeling as if you're playing a vector-based game. All right, so for that one, it's obvious. We're going to go 5 stars for Defender, 1981. And it's so close because we just had Scramble, and I thought to myself, well, am I going to give Scramble 5 as well? But because it's the first time we've seen a horizontally scrolling game, Scramble has 2 different shots that you can shoot. The bomb that comes down, that's going to be emulated by lots of different companies. We're going to go for both. So both are 5 stars because they're both the best game that you could play from at this point in video game history. All right, so here we go. This is our next title. We're now going to the Apple II, and this is NORAD. I'm guessing a nuclear simulation game. Let's take a look at the artwork for NORAD. Yes, a nuclear war simulation written by Ron Smales. Way to go, Ron. Western Microdata Enterprises Limited. And is that an... No, I was going to say, is that an Apple II in the bottom right corner? But no. And yeah, we don't have too much for the Apple II. There's an example of the screenshot. Nice, of the entire United States. Hopefully we're not going to get nuked in the game, but let's boot it up and see if this runs. It is February 16th, 1981, and we're playing NORAD for the Apple II. as usual, yet another request for moose. I don't know what that means. If this was the crack, maybe it's one of them. All right, so let's speed this up a little bit. Crank up the load times. There we go. Okay, here we go. So this is NORAD. Now, are we playing? No, it says a nuclear simulation. Hit any key to start. So a nuclear simulation, hitting any key, and then what skill do we want? We'll start with Cadet. So keep in mind, we don't have a manual for this one. Didn't find one for NORAD, but we'll wing it. Looks like for controls, yes, we are getting bombed. I don't know what I'm controlling, though. I'm not controlling any of the bombs that are coming down. And it looks like for keys... Oh, cool, I see. Okay, so there's numbers down on Earth, and what you do is you hit the correct number, and you're trying to intercept those, so you have, oh my gosh, 8, 9, 0. Yeah, so you have lots of different options for what you can use to intercept. I'm not intercepting very well. You know, it's funny, this reminds me of a game we played for the Exity Sorcerer called Nike 2, which it's essentially using a very rudimentary gameplay like Missile Command, where you have different silos that you shoot from, but instead of using a cursor to describe where they're going to hit, you just have to aim based on timing. And this is a more advanced, way more advanced than Nike 2 for the Exity Sorcerer, but essentially it's you're using the different missiles that you have to hit them incoming before they get to you. Yeah, see, not doing very well at all to time these. Let's see if we can get... Nope, still can't. Still not working. Insane sound effects, though, for this one. There we go. So I intercepted one. Let's see if we can get this one going. Nope, missed that one. But you have lots of different silos to choose from, and all you do is push the number, and then the number fires up. Oh, but it missed that one. Maybe I'm doing it incorrectly. So here we go. 3. Yeah, it's looks like it's aimed the right way. Maybe it's inevitable. No matter what I do, I'm still going to be blown up. But man, the sound effects. I don't even know if I want to call them correct sound effects. It just sounds like just very loud noises. So all the missiles that come down just sound like a bunch of motorcycles, apparently. But couldn't really get this to play correctly. It looks like it's supposed to be intercepted by other ones. You can see here, yeah, they're going for my missile silos now. But to stop the missiles, I think I'm timing it correctly, but it's not working correctly. Oh gosh! And for game over screens, the ultimate flash. All right, so we didn't have the manual for that one, but we understood the concept of the gameplay. It's just the timing. However, I obviously wasn't getting the timing correct because everything was being destroyed in the United States. So for the time, graphically, it's all right for the Apple II, but it's a static screen. Nothing else is happening there. Yeah, it looks like we have different skill levels that we could have chosen, but it still doesn't have that much content considering other things we played on the Apple II. And I won't even call that average. I call that down in the bad range. For everything else we've seen or played at the time, and considering I wasn't able to aim correctly or stop the missiles, we're going to go in the bad range for that game. This is about 1.5 stars. Yeah, we'll do, especially with the sound effects. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we'll go 1 star. The worst bad rating we could give. It's not broken, but it's one of the worst things we could do for the Apple II. For the time. All right, so after NORAD and the crazy sound effects there, let's move on to our next game. Our next release is the Game & Watch. This is Helmet. And we haven't played this one yet. Let's take a look at the artwork for Helmet. It's another Gold Series Game & Watch. There's a reconstructed front of the box. Oh, and this one has the alarm function, which I think we've always had the clock, but I think this is the first Game & Watch we've had with the alarm. Possibly. And there's the example of the system itself and back of the system. Yeah, not too much there. We'll see when we boot it up. All right, in the palm of our hands, this is the newest Nintendo Game & Watch. And there it is. This is Helmet. When you first start it up, it shows all the graphics on the LCD that you can see. And then whenever you begin the game, you choose game A or B. We'll do game A. And then looks like we just have two... Yeah, we just have two buttons left and right. Am I supposed to... Oh, I'm supposed to avoid the wrench. Maybe I'm just supposed to avoid the objects as they fall, because obviously I missed 3 times because it hit me on the top of the head. Let's try it again. Pushing game A. I thought I'd get the helmet. No, I don't. What about the wrench? No. I'm supposed to just avoid all objects, it looks like. Avoid the wrench. Oh, there we go. Got to make it to the shed. Nice. So you're just trying to get across without getting smacked in the head. I thought they called it helmet because I'm wearing a helmet, but no, it's just avoiding all the objects that are falling. Oh no, if the door doesn't open, I'm in trouble. Yeah, and knocked me out. They're using the sound effect that the alarm has to play the game. Let's try game B. So pushing game B on our Game & Watch. If you're just joining us, this is Helmet for the Nintendo Game & Watch. We're playing every video game, and this is obviously proof that is released in order. There we go. So you make it your way across. When the doors open, you can get to the other side. But they call it Helmet, but I don't have it. Oh, they closed the door on me. I'm not wearing a helmet because I can get smacked by different objects falling from the sky. There we go. It looks like it's just a way out because I'm not getting points for going through the door. The points look like it's just from the objects falling. Wrenches, screwdrivers, hammers, buckets. Oh, this didn't look good. There we go. Yeah, so it's... I don't see a difference between Game A and Game B. It's essentially the same idea. Game B looks a little bit harder with more chaos on the screen. One more. Yeah, I wanted to see him get smacked one more time in the head. Why aren't you wearing a helmet? The game's called Helmet. All right, there we go. That is Helmet, the newest Game & Watch. For the Nintendo Game & Watch. That was February 21st, 1981 for this release. So for that one, that's pretty typical for the Nintendo Game & Watch. However, is it average? For the time, I would say subpar because of the other handhelds we've seen. Yeah, for only 2 different game modes, and we don't really rate the Game & Watch on the novelty of having the clock or the time, because obviously it had that as well, the Game & Watch, but we'll go below average, 2.5 stars. So it's not quite up to speed with other handhelds, but still a very good handheld, slightly below average for what you could play. All right, so after Helmet, Nintendo Game & Watch, our next release is Waterloo II for the Apple II. We played Waterloo back in 1980, which I believe was an SSI release. Let's see what this one is. Let's take a look at the artwork for Waterloo II. Front of the box just looks like Waterloo, and that's it with similar graphics that we saw for the first Waterloo. I can't tell if it's an SSI or not, but let's pop it in and see, first of all, if it loads up. It is February 23rd, 1981, and this is Waterloo II for the Apple II by Crystalware Incorporated. Way to go, John. So it looks like this is not the SSI. I thought the Waterloo we saw was for SSI. And just in case it takes a little bit longer, let's crank up the speed and fast forward through. There we go. And we're going to do a new game. Setting up forces. Okay, this is the part that might take a while. Let's fast forward through this so we can go a little bit faster. That's why it's flashing so much. And it's going to build all the forces for us. Cool. So if it's not based on SSI, I'm curious if this was something that was done in someone's free time, and then Crystalware is the one that published it. Okay, so it's giving us the time, Napoleon, and then you input the command for number 1. So the other strategic games we played for the Apple II, if you didn't have the manual, you wouldn't know what command to type in. And now we're in the same boat. What's the command for number 1? How about go north? Invalid move. What about attack? Invalid move. We have to know the commands to type in, and sadly I couldn't find a manual for Waterloo II. So this would be another one of those games that we booted it up. There it is. We have the game playing, and we see the graphics, but to actually function and play the game, we have to have the manual that goes with it. So not lost to time, just couldn't really dive in and play some strategy games for 1981. So for that, since we couldn't really dive in and play it, we're going to go ahead and give that one an average rating, 3 stars for the time. If we had the manual, we could get a little bit more out of it. All right, so after Waterloo II, what is our next game? Oh, it's Planet Miners. We last saw this, I believe, last year in 1980. And we couldn't get it to run correctly. So high hopes we can get it to run on the Atari 8-bit computers. Let's take a look at the artwork for Planet Miners. There it is. Yeah, exact same box art we saw before. I think it was the no, wait. I think it was Apple II that we didn't get it to run correctly. Division of Avalon Hill Company. This is Microcomputer Games. Yeah, so yeah, it's a mining simulation game on different planets. Guide a family of commanding economic position in your solar system. Kind of like a Dune simulation. Obviously not using the license for it. And there is the box, Microcomputer Games, and there it is, the cassette tape. Looks like this is the same cassette tape I think we saw before for the Apple II. All the computers you could have been playing on at the time. The Commodore PET 2001, the TRS-80, the Atari 8-bit, looks like it's 4800, and then the Apple II. And then I believe, is there more on the right side? No, it looks like, yeah. It says Tandy Corporation, but it doesn't say it works on the Coco, just the TRS-80. And there's the example of the screenshot. Might be a text-only game, possibly. Let's see if it runs. Oh, we have a manual for it, too. Let's take a look at the manual for Planet Miners. Looks like this is, oh yeah, several pages. So a very in-depth manual for Planet Miners. Rules of the game. Yeah, originally it was released in 1980 for the Apple II, and this is the 8-bit, Atari 8-bit version. Planet Miners is a very unique game about events which take place in the year 2050. Oh, we're getting close. Yeah, not the Coco. Yep, gotcha. While Federation itself is not empowered to engage in commerce, it has the authority to grant mining concessions to private concerns. These concerns are actually huge multinational corporations, which are extremely paternalistic. The Japanese system, called families. Each corporation goes by the family name of its founder, thus the opening of the solar system for mining claims in the scramble among families for the available concessions. And that's what it is. You're trying to be the best planet miner in the solar system. So it shows how to begin the game. Oh, nice. So we'll refer back to the manual if we get the game to load. Let's see what other versions we have. We got 2 different ones. Ugh, possibly not going to work because looks like we'll load the version from February because that's where we are. There we go. Yep, it's February 25th, 1981, and we're playing Planet Miners on our Atari 800. Yes, we got a title screen. Planet Miners, expansion into the solar system. 1981. Ready to initialize player 1. Will the person play this family? Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll say yes. Input your family name. Our family name. Let's do Skywalker. Welcome to the year 2050. You're the leader of the fabulously wealthy and politically powerful Skywalker family. Earth government is about to open the solar system for mining concessions. You'll be racing against 3 other families to stake your claim. Each family has 5 interplanetary spaceships. Earth will be maintaining 8 patrol ships just to keep things friendly. Good luck. Now, is this text only? Ready to initialize player 2. Will a person play this family? Okay, so you could essentially play with 4 people and then switch back and forth, which is kind of cool. So we'll say yes. What's your family name? We'll say... what's the other? If we're going to stick with the Star Wars universe, we might as well go with different alien races. So if we got Skywalker, then we can also do Corelli. And then same thing, return to continue. And yeah, we'll make them all humans and maybe 1 computer. Because it looks like all of them are going to be controlled, whether it's computer or human in the game. Let's go with Wookiee. The Wookiee family, the Corelli family, the Skywalker family. And then I'm running out of ideas for Star Wars here. We got the... Let's go with... Let's just say no. No person will do that one. So it looks like the computer is going to think about other families to make. There you go. Commands for Skywalker on day one. Okay, so yeah, it looks like a text-based game. So let's take a look at the manual. It says when you first begin the game, you're asked to start a family. You have special considerations for multiplayer games. And then entering commands. Yes, we have a manual that tells us the commands. You can do... Human players indicate to the computer what they want to do. Each game is divided into turns, which are 1 day. So it's a turn-based game, strategy game. Each day, the person will be requested to enter commands. The menu is not normally displayed. However, entering command 0 will cause the menu to be displayed. Players will typically enter commands each turn. Looks like we got, we can see the solar system map, display travel times, mining status, the ships you have in orbit, the ship status and destination, and then protest a claim, attempt a claim, jump. My goodness. So there's lots of different options we can do, and you can see they're giving examples over here. They're pushing like number 7 and then hitting enter, and then they're actually giving us an example of how the game would work. So it is only text. It's a text-based mining game. So you can see it's saying we can try it out. We can do command 7. Let's see. Yeah, you get ship status, and there's all 5 of our ships that we have for the Skywalker, and that's what ship number do you want to do. We'll do ship number 2, and then which destination you want to send this ship to. Let's send it to Mars. Oh, cool. So it's a planet mining game that takes place in our universe. And I use Star Wars for names. That's funny. So ship status of the Skywalker family, and then you enter the next command, and then every time it's your turn, you just make decisions, and it's all text-based on what you make, which is very typical for the time. And we're not going to go into too much depth, but we got the idea of what Planet Miners is about and how it's played. Very good for the time. That's around average, a text-based mining game. For complexity and what it's trying to accomplish and how well it plays, it's all right. It's not really the best. So we'll go 2.5 stars. It's not bad, but it's not really something like top tier or average for what you'd see. So 2.5 stars for Planet Miners for the Atari 8-bit. So we got a chance to taste it, at least since it didn't work on the Apple II. All right, so after Planet Miners, our next game is Snoggle. Also on the Apple II. What is Snoggle? I can see it was by Broderbund, though. They are a very good game developer. Here's the artwork for Snoggle. Yes, by Broderbund. It looks like a crazy-looking Pac-Man eating a dot with ghosts. So maybe it's a Pac-Man clone. There's the example of the 5 1/4 disc. The 48K for your Apple II for Snoggle. And there we go. Yes, it is a Pac-Man clone, at least from that screenshot. No manual, so we're popping in and see if it works. It's February 28th, 1981, and this is Snoggle for the Apple II. Let's see if we can speed this sucker up. What is Snoggle? There we go. Oh gosh, it's flashing though. I don't understand the flashing. It's like we're going into hyperspace, then we're not. If we're going into hyperspace, then we're not. It's just going faster and faster. Oh my gosh. Apologies for the flashing. Developers weren't very sensitive to that at the time. They're trying to destroy us. Oh, wow. Oh, they recreated the sound. How about that? So I'm using the joystick on my Apple II. It is not working. Yeah, no joystick there. Let's see if we have any controls. Oh, there we go. We got something for the top. Are they using the same controls as a Calibeth? No, they're not. I was able to move left, but they didn't give us an explanation of control. So now I have to figure out what the keyboard commands are since the joystick does not work correctly. Let's see if we can go right. Okay, so it looks like I got left and right down, and I just need to figure out what the map key... See, usually it's enter and then backspace, and it looks like it's not doing it for that. So I need to find the up and down. If this is correct, this would be the very first home way to play Pac-Man. that we've seen since Pac-Man, which was last year in 1980. All right, let's see if I can go. How do I go down? Yeah, this is excellent. To be able to play Pac-Man at home, Snoggle is where it's at. Obviously, frame rate isn't too crazy, but for the time, this actually is pretty good. So trying different keys to go up and down. What would it be? Oh, there we go. I got one. Got it. Okay, yeah, it's A and Z. That's very interesting. A and Z is the up and down whenever you're playing on the UK's microcomputer systems, like the Dragon or the ZX80 or 81. And this is what this is programmed to do. So it feels like I'm playing a game supposed to be designed for England. But they have the sound effects, they have the music to open up the game. Yeah, and this works really well, obviously, when you figure out the controls that you're going to need for the keyboard. But the very first home Pac-Man release, we've seen other games you could play at home for, like, head-on or top-down maze games. But Pac-Man was just last year. So this is pretty cool to play this at home in the beginning of 1981. And it plays pretty good. I don't think I'm able to finish it, though. Because it is very, very difficult. It's going to be the same map every time, but yeah, it's pretty hard. That's pretty good. Okay, so Snoggle is a hit. That one is not an average game. That's something that's above average. That's up in the 4-star range. I could give it 4 just because you're playing Pac-Man at home. It's the very first time you could play Pac-Man at home. I'm not going to go up here because it's not really pushing an exceptional video game or the best video game you could play. But that is very good. So 4 stars for Snoggle. We are fans of Snoggle here on Chronologically Gaming. All right, after Snoggle, looks like our next one is the next release of Analog Computing. This is Atari's magazine for the home computer. This is the March-April release from 1981 for Analog Computer. Let's go all the way in. Yes, there we go. Yeah, so this is we're gonna breeze through the table of contents because we're actually gonna go through and hit on a few of the things they talk about. So we're now in March of 1981, kicked off by the Analog Computing newsletter, which they say newsletter, but it's a magazine. It's supposed to be both in one. All right, so after that, the editorial looks like they did receive some high praise from the first issue, and they made a second one. And then they are asking questions about people sending in, are you doing anything interesting with your 400, 800 computer for Atari to mail in? And then you can see here, since the last issue, they now have editor's responses to people asking questions. Looks like there was problems people had with the computer, and they're helping them out. It's almost like tech support, but with mail responses. Not email, or just normal mail. Like you can see here, someone has a question about the memory system for the Atari 800 for final testing, and wanting to get answers for it. And then, of course, they have some coding that you can get with ads. Pretty cool. And then here's the same ad we saw before for different software on the Atari home computer. So for news, it's not really that exciting. This is about the Atari Accountant and word processor. So we're in it for the games, not for any of those. But for new products, they have a few things here, micro connection. And then you can see here, this is an ad for Activision for the 2 games that are supposed to be released soon. And this is Freeway and Kaboom for the Atari home or Atari VCS, which we haven't seen those yet on the channel, but that means they'll be coming up. Both games retail for $22.95. Yeah, it says July 1981. And what it says here is what they're expecting, not necessarily when it will be released. But we will see those at some point on the channel. And then If we scroll down, we have different disk files, which we're going to breeze through that. It gives more examples of code, which was all over these magazines because at the time, that's all you had. There was no internet, so everything you wanted to type in was from these. Like this one about arrays, whenever you're doing coding. So this magazine was not just for the gamer, it was for the programmer as well. You can see they have different demos you can try, which is kind of cool. And then here, word processing, which we'll breeze by, and then balancing your checkbook, because the home computer was used for primarily adults. They wanted something that they could have at home to do these kinds of functions. Okay, here we go. Software for the Atari 800 and the Atari 400 computer. We got Atari Trek, which is a space Trek game, and then we got Fast Gammon that's going to be coming out, and then Tank Trap. All three we have not seen on the channel. We have seen a version of Fast Gammon that was on the Apple II, but we called it Slow Gammon for fun because it was very slow on the Apple II. And then let's see, Player versus Missile. This is about programming on the Atari computer, because a lot of the games that were programmed for the Atari home computer, they ended up getting translated for the VCS, or eventually the 5200, which is the next Atari home console. All right, so the power of Atari CPU. I wanted to show you guys this part. Look up here when it talks about the different graphics modes used and the execution of the CPU in seconds. It's the fastest goes 218, or sorry, fastest would go 163, or sorry, if you have no DMA, it uses 100, still takes 148 seconds for execution. We now have processors that are doing millions and millions in seconds. So it's just amazing to think of at the time in 1981. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, so this is Canon Duel, and this is something you could type in and play the game. We will not be doing that, but this is what you would do for the magazines. You find out the game and type it in yourself. And then this next one is music. So programming in music to play that your Apple II will play. Look at all this to play different songs and program in songs. So cool. So here's a VCS system update. This is titles that are going to be released, and you can see down here, they're talking about the Activision releases that we saw last year. And the reason they're announcing them here is because when they came out in 1980, that was when Atari had the lawsuit with Activision. At this point, the lawsuit has now cleared and gave Activision the right of way. So now it's Atari announcing, hey, we got these titles, and it's Fishing Derby, which we've seen, Dragster, checkers, bridge, boxing, and skiing. So all these we saw last year when they were released by Activision the first time, and now Atari is advertising for them, like, hey, here they are. And then we have also Scott Adams' Adventure series. This is an ad for the games that have come out. Looks like we got Adventure up to 7, 8, 9, and 10. And for the Atari home computer, we haven't seen all of them yet. They've been out for the TRS-80. And so we've seen the Scott Adams games there. And then this is a graphics routine for clipping into something. And then for the game room, they have just a few things of Sea Battle, for example, there. And then some other games that you can program in. You can see all the lines of code that you would have to type in manually. And then another review for Energy Czar, which I don't think we got that one to run. So it explains how Energy Czar works and how you play it. Do they have a rating system? Looks like basic A+, but oh, that's what it's programmed in. What did they give the review? Looks like they're not giving it a number or because we never got to play Energy Czar. It didn't load correctly for us. I wanted to see what they'd say, but they're giving the cost of what it would be at the time. And it looks like for this one, this is for War at Sea, which we haven't seen yet on the channel, but this was for, looks like a battleship. Yeah, battleship game. And so it's interesting to see a magazine giving reviews for video games, but they're not rating them with numbers. It's just an article that you read about someone's experience with the game. Kind of like we're doing here if I didn't rate them on 5 stars and just hear someone talk about them. All right, so this is for Terminal, and then more ads on that one. Looks like a calculator review, and then tools. Want to see if they have anything else on games before we go. Oh, here's one. This is a game called Mind Bogglers. And the printer news, I think that was the last one. Yeah, so that's all we'll check out for analog computing. So that was issue 2, which means we're now in March of 1981. And our next one we're going to check out is BYTE, which is another magazine that is way too large for us to see the whole thing. I'm just going to show a table of contents and hit on a few things that is happening in the world of computers and video games. So there's the front of the box, or front of the magazine for BYTE. Programming methods. They always have something cool for the front of it. And then for the table of contents, there we go. Structured programming and flowcharts, the disk 80 expansion floppy disk control, three-dimensional computer graphics is discussed in this in 1981. That's crazy. And then looks like we got computer design techniques. And then there we go. There's an article on what's inside Radio Shack's color computer by Tim Irons. So they're going in details about the Coco, which is the first time they've mentioned, at least we've seen the Coco on BYTE magazine. And then they have programming languages like BASIC, ALGOL, and APL. Wow, ALGOL. There's some that have been lost to time, at least programming languages-wise. And we're not going to go any further with BYTE because it is hundreds of pages long. We just do a taste when we get to the BYTE magazines. All right, so after that, so it looks like we're now in March. Our next game release is in the arcades, and this is Satan of Saturn. Let's take a look at the artwork for Satan of Saturn. Okay, it looks like we've got two different ones. There's one, this is a Japanese flyer. Don't see the company right off the bat, possibly S&K, but it's showing on the side there with different cabinets. And then we also have a different one, still Japanese, maybe the back of the advertisement flyer. This is both Vanguard and Satan of Saturn. Challenge a Saturn's mystery, attack a UFO and rocket army. Let's go to the Saturn. Take the missile fire, laser beam, fight a decisive battle with Satan of Saturn. Hero is you. I don't know if you can see that far down, but at the very bottom, hero is you for protect the Earth. That's right. There's the example of the arcade cabinet, Satan of Saturn. Hero is you with a control panel. We have left and right and fire. Oh, we got two different fire and laser beam for Satan of Saturn. And yes, it's developed by S&K. So two different fires for it. Most likely it's going to be a fixed shooter. Let's see. We have nothing for the manual. We do have different versions, just set 1 and set 2. All right, let's step up to the arcades. It's March 1981, and this is Satan of Saturn by S&K for the arcade. Got some cool artwork, and Satan is right above my head. Scary. So for tracked mode, not getting any sound coming in, but yeah, it's a fixed shooter. Some flashing lights of Saturn in the background. And this was the first release. Yeah, the Japanese version. And I think we're going to see another release of this, just called something different. Probably developed or distributed by someone else. All right, let's put a quarter in and see what it's up. The hero is you. Nice. Got a little ditty to start us off. And looks like I got multiple shots to kill the enemies. So all the UFOs that are coming down, it takes multiple hits on them. Oh, yeah. No, I don't believe it. Looks like we're only getting sound effects to come in on this one. But yeah, it's multiple hits. The first time we've seen it... First time we've seen the game do that, but of course, I only take one hit and then I'm down. Is the hero really me? I don't know. Yeah, so it's just constant sound effects. Wow. And with the multiple shots, it's very difficult to not be hit by one of the other ships. Oh, wow. So quick on the draw. The ditty they play in the beginning reminds me of the PC speaker for IBM-compatible computers. Let's do it one more time. Putting a quarter in, push and start for Satan of Saturn. Yeah, it sounds like the internal speaker on a PC or IBM compatible computer. Oh, I see. It looks like it's possible that the emulation isn't fully complete because we're not getting sound effects. And, do I have another shot? Yeah, you're not supposed to let him get to the end, but wow, yeah, very difficult. You know, SNK is going to rise the ranks and blow everybody away, but honestly, the releases we've seen by SNK, they've been rough. They have not been top tier, like we've seen from Atari or from Namco or Taito. SNK had a rougher start, and this is a good example. Satan of Saturn. Wow, I got some new ships that came in, but that was the end. Looks like the hero is not me. Let's try it with a different way to load, just in case the emulation just quite isn't there. Let's try it a different way, just in case. Satan of Saturn by SNK. Yes, that's true. Lots of primary colors. Which makes me think it's more like 1980, because we've seen other arcade games that look like this. All right, let's put a quarter in and see if this runs any different. Oh, it's a lot quieter. I can barely hear the ditty this time. Yeah, it's running, yeah, it's the exact same. So it's running the same way. So sadly, that means we can't do a good redemption for Satan of Saturn. All right, so for the time, that is below average. I could go 2.5. I don't really want to go bad. It's not bad because it's typical fixed shooter that you see for the time, but it isn't really average. So I'm going to go 2.5 stars for Satan of Saturn, just slightly below average. The hero is you. All right, so after Satan of Saturn, what is our next game? Oh, cool. Okay, this is Shark Attack in the arcade. Let's take a look at the artwork for Shark Attack. Oh, wait. From the video clip, I hear the game talking to us. So let's see if the game actually talks to us. There we go, Shark Attack. Take a diver to lunch. That's a crazy-looking shark. She is going to get eaten alive. Sharks munch a bunch for lunch. An exciting new Shark Diver Challenge. Hey, it's keep your eye on GPI. We've kept our eye on GPI. There's the back of the flyer. The advertisement flyer says the bottom line is profit you can trust. The bottom line. Of course it is. And there's the arcade cabinet for Shark Attack. Very bare bones, very basic. Nothing big there. There's our PCB. And for control panel, looks like we can control our, shark control. We're in control of the shark. And then 2 buttons to thrust and munch the shark. Yeah, there's our controls. Yeah, easy controls. There's our arcade marquee for Shark Attack. And looks like it is raster-based graphics, but very simple. Not a lot of color, at least from that screenshot. Let's see if the manual has anything for us. GPI, or Game Plan Incorporated. Keep your eye on GPI. Shark Attack is a full-color, 1 or 2 player action game that offers unique features to capture and prolong player interest. Controls for movement, thrust, and munch allow the player to steer their shark around the screen and devour divers. Very cool. So if you tuned into the very early 70s, in that episode we played the very first licensed game on the channel, and it was Shark Jaws. It was a transistor to transistor logic game, so we couldn't really simulate it, but the game was not you playing as the shark. This is the very first time where we're playing as a shark in a video game, on the channel at least. The video and audio systems work together to make Shark Attack an exciting special game. And that's pretty much it. The rest is about the installation and unpacking of everything. That's all that GPI says. It's got to be playing off that, but of course it's not licensed by Jaws. All right, here we go. Let's step up in the arcades. This is March 1981, and we're playing Shark Attack in the arcade. Brought to us by GPI. Looks like Pacific Novelty was the developer for this one. And there we go. We got some artwork on the outside. So this is what we saw around the cabinet. Avoid spears at all costs. So because we're playing as the shark. It's very tiny over in the bottom left corner, but that's the mission is destroy all the frog men. Yeah, so we're eating the people. That's so cool. All right, so it looks like we got to accelerate, we thrust, and we can move his mouth up and down and eat different people. If you devour 7 squadrons, you get an extra shark. Cool, okay, so let's put a coin in and push start. Player 1, get ready. So here I am. I can thrust. Oh, I have a little downtime. And I already got eaten by, what does it say? Scuba men? Squadrons? Frogmen. Okay, it's frogmen. Oh man, we got blood. We just ate the guy and whoa. So cool. Oh, if you can hear the background thumping, they're recreating the John Williams cash in on Jaws, definitely. Oh yeah, this is cool. Playing as the shark for the first time, and it plays pretty good. Graphically, there's not really too much to look at, and the sprites are so small considering everything else we've seen. But we're playing as a shark. We're eating other frogmen, other people. You know, we talk about the controversy of when we played Death Race and you're driving a car over people, but I wonder if there's any controversy over playing as a shark eating people. Yes, it looks like, are we burping blood or are we chomping down on him? Oh my gosh. Oh, cool, and the shark blew up. Interesting scaling there. We get the bonus. Oh, it'd be awesome if we retained that size as we ate more and more. But yeah, it looks like we're dying fast. Move the handle up and down. Handle? We had 2 buttons. Well, I guess they're saying the joystick, because there was a joystick there. And use munch. Nice, and you can put in your score. Always a plus for the arcade games at the time. And it's showing the countdown of having to put your score in. I just remember always being frustrated when I put the wrong thing in the arcade. I put the wrong name or initials. I'm like, that's not me. That's not what I want. Oh, yeah, we're going again. I want to see if the shark gets bigger because the screen implies like it's going to scale larger for us. All right, let's put another quarter in and push start. So we can move around. We can thrust and move fast. And then, boom, eat those frogmen and... I don't see a health meter anywhere. It looks like just after a few spears to your face, then that's it. And they're giving me a graphic in the top right of a red skull. Like, that means I've killed so many guys. Oh, come on. They got me. But they're doing the palette swap trick that we've seen for getting different enemies. And they respond a little differently, but I was really hoping the shark would grow in size. Oh no! Game over. Only got a score of 4,000 for that one. The graphics are similar to other GPI games we've seen, where the text blows up really big to try to attract people to play the game in the arcade. But still, that's fun. That is awesome. Oh, we didn't hear the talking. Let's see if we can load it a different way. I never heard the talking come up for us. Let's see if we can get the voice over. Okay, try it again. I'm guessing it was supposed to talk to us then, but we didn't get it for the actual gameplay. I wonder if it has the frogmen yelling at us or talking to us. Darn. So it looks like we can't get the full experience with the emulation. At least the video snapshot had a little for us. But since I'm on a roll and we got a little bit zoomed in of the screen, you can kind of tell what I was saying about the graphics, how the pixels seem a little small for the arcade or not as colorful, because the shark itself only has one color, the shark sprite, but the frogmen they're going for 2. Oh yeah, we're on a roll now. You can't stop this shark. No! As soon as I say that, then I die. Eat 'em. Yes, there we go. Wow. So yeah, it's one spear, and then after that spear, it's done. So you got to watch out. All right, seeing if I can avoid these guys. There we go. Nice. It's also really cool playing a game that you're doing the reverse, where you're used to playing arcade games where you're the shooter and you're having to shoot, but to avoid someone else shooting you is unique. We haven't seen that too much on the channel. Make sure I get the right name in. 45 seconds left. There we go. There's the high score. Cool. All right, that's excellent. So that's a tricky one, though. For rating the Shark Attack, it is unique. It really isn't doing anything graphically. I know we can hear in the background the video is playing with talking, so that would be a total plus. But for the time, it is a very good game. I don't know if I want to go higher, because to say it's pushing something or doing something that should be required to be an excellent game. It is very good, though. Definitely 4 stars, definitely above average. But I'm willing to go not in the range of something that's doing something as the best game you could have played on the arcade at the time. So we'll go 4 stars for Shark Attack. Still excellent. Yeah, I could see. I just saw in the comment, yeah, the primitive graphics, I agree. All right, so with that, we'll stop at Shark Attack and be continuing playing all the games released in 1981 in chronological order. Thanks so much for joining me, everyone on Twitch and on YouTube. We will see you then. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we miss any games along the way. This video would not be possible without RetroArch and Launchbox. Please tell your friends there's some crazy guy out there trying to play every single video game. You can always check out Chronologically Gaming on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We will catch you next time.